everybody? It's the Rice Rocketeer, and thank you for tuning in to another episode. God, it's perfect today. A little more congested, didn't get out as early as I wanted to, but anyway, doesn't matter. Today's video is about quickshifters. What are they? How do they work? And, well, really, why you need one. But before we get into today's video, guys, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure to do so. Blech. Can't talk today. Click that button down below and follow along my NYC moto vlog journey. I would greatly appreciate it. To everybody who's subscribed already, thank you so much. We are at like 620, which is crazy. Started really in June was when I really started, and we were at like, I was at like 50 subscribers, so thank you guys for joining on. This has been a good year. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to jump into the video. Before I get into what a quickshifter is and how it works, I've had enough questions at the dealership regarding kind of what, you know, how to shift and how gears work, how the clutch works. So I want to do a quick overview of basically what is going on in your bike, so you can kind of understand that before getting into the tech that is a quickshifter. So, I put chapters in the video so you can kind of click through as you like. If you already know what gears are and you know how all that works, then just skip on past this part. But for everybody who is curious and, you know, would like to hear a little bit about it, I'm going to go over it quickly. So, first and foremost, gears. Why are they necessary? Well, they're for speed management. If you had one gear, you kind of have like a minimum and a maximum speed you could go, and you'd be very limited. So just as gears on a bicycle, it's the exact same thing. The only difference is on a motorcycle you need a clutch. There's a lot more power, and there's a lot more mechanical moving parts, so you can't just shift. Or, well, we'll get to that later in the video, but traditionally you can't just shift up and have everything be okay. So yeah, smaller the gear, the lower the speed, roughly. That's the, you know, rough translation. And in order to get to the next gear, you have to use clutch. What is the clutch? Well, it's this lever right here on the left. The right is the front brake, the left is your clutch. Every time you pull the clutch in, like this, it disengages the clutch. So every time the clutch is out and it's just as is, the clutch is engaged. What does that mean? Well, the clutch is a series of plates, so metal plates that are located down on the right side of most bikes. I think some have them on the left, but for the most part they're right over here. So there's a cable that runs from the clutch lever all the way down to the clutch pack. Every time you pull it in, it pulls the plates apart, so they're no longer in contact with one another. When they're not in contact with one another, there is no power being transferred from the engine to the wheel. And that's the whole point of the throttle, is to give the bike power. But the clutch is kind of like the midway point. It's the control. It's what allows for or does not allow for. It's what facilitates the transfer of power from the engine to the wheel. So right now, clutch is fully engaged. As I pull the throttle, whatever power is being produced by the engine is going to go directly to the back wheel, and therefore I will go. That's what happens when my clutch is engaged and I'm pulling the throttle. So that's a basic overview of what's going on here. In order to switch gears, right, you have the gearbox, or I guess you call it transmission. You have the transmission directly below me, and to switch gears, a bunch of, they call them dog heads, I believe the dog heads are dog gears, have to move back and forth to kind of select what gear you're in. Now those are metal parts moving around at a very high speed, right? Right now I'm at, let's see, I think I'm at 6,000 RPM, 6,000 rotations or revolutions per minute. That's a lot of revolutions, a lot of movement. To try to get all those pieces to sync up at this speed would be crazy. First of all, they'd probably break. They probably break, so you need a way to kind of allow that process to happen, and the way you do that is you use the clutch. So when you pull in, everything's disengaged. It gives everything a minute to kind of like move freely. And previous to Quickshifters, you would have to use the throttle. You have to kind of know your bike and sync up the speed of the engine to the speed that you're actually going, the speed of the wheel. So that's the whole, that's the whole process. Now, that's what I fell in love with, because I thought that was really cool. Like being that much, being that in control is awesome, and it's kind of part of the craft, right? And I still do. So, when we get to the point of Quickshifters and how I feel about them, that definitely plays a part in that. That's essentially what the clutch is doing. It's giving you a breather, giving the engine a breather, giving the whole bike a breather to kind of allow you, as the driver, the rider, to kind of make the decisions that you need to make the transition very smooth. So that's what's going on with the clutch, and that's why you need it. To my understanding, I put links below to articles that I found that are helpful to really understand what's going on. But if you've driven a manual car, you understand it's the exact same thing. It's just in a vertical fashion. But that's the fun of riding, in my opinion. I love that, and everybody's different. Some people just like going fast, and in that case, some of those what do they call it? ACT, ATV? I don't know. Automatic transmission, ATC, whatever. Some people just like those, and that's cool. Other people like the craft of riding, like myself, so they like being in control, and that's what I love about it. So I hope that sums it up quite nicely. But as for Quickshifters, so Quickshifters initially started as a race, a race feature, right, on track bikes, and for MotoGP, people who are racing professionally, every second matters, like every millisecond, everything. So the time in which you pull the clutch in, select your gear, have to match it up, can make or break a race. And that's why Quickshifters were involved, were invented. They've trickled down to street bikes, and as many things, a lot of features on bikes, especially sport bikes, started as race features, and obviously everybody RR, race replica. People want the closest thing to what the top of the line motorcycle riders have, so they companies started adding them to street bikes. It's all good and well. But I guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself. What is a Quickshifter, right? Well, it's just what the name implies. It's something that allows you to shift without using the clutch. It's a piece of tech that works in tandem with the computer to basically forego the need to pull the clutch in. It disengages the clutch for you very briefly. Obviously, emphasis on very briefly, because it's for racing, and the less time that the clutch is involved, that means that it's the less time that you have to speed up, essentially. So the more the clutch is involved, the more the clutch is engaged, the more power you are transferring to the wheel, essentially. Many people find this desirable because it takes away from it takes away the whole process, which is nice. It's one step closer to an automatic bike. Many people hate it because, well, like me, the whole process is the point of riding, so you don't really want to lose that. But the beautiful thing about Quickshifters is you don't actually lose that. You can use your clutch if you like. It's just a nice option for when you want to quickly accelerate and or quickly decelerate, depending on which type of Quickshifter your bike has. When I shift with the Quickshifter, this bike comes with a Quickshifter, a downshifter as well, auto blipper. All I have to do is, now I'm in the next gear. That was it. That was it. It was easy. Nothing with my hand. I didn't have to do anything. At first, I was adamantly against this. Said, I'm never going to use that piece of shit. I don't need it. I should just take it off the bike. Who cares? As time went on, I ended up using the downshifter, the auto blipper, tremendously. It is a very nice feature to have, because when you are downshifting, well, this gets into a whole nother video, but motorcycles and automatic, well, really any vehicle has something called engine braking. So when you are not using the engine, you are automatically slowing down. It's kind of like a suction effect. It's a vacuum type process. But anyway, you use that process to mitigate your speed, and so you don't always have to use your brakes. Really, you use your brakes at the same time, but so when you downshift, you can downshift to control your speed. It really helps when you, like, if somebody stops short, jamming on your brakes and, well, not jamming, but using your brakes and your engine for engine braking will bring you to a very quick stop. And it really helps to be, you know, previously I had to rev match, which is a whole process of like matching up your RPMs to facilitate a smooth downshift. And now with the auto blipper, you don't have to do that because it does it for you. So I can easily just bang down a few gears and not have to manipulate the clutch, which in certain situations when things come up really quick, it's nice to be able to just bang, bang, bang and not have to use the clutch. So that's nice. So I started using the Quickshifter mostly for that. I didn't really use it to shift up, and then as time went on, inevitably you end up using it, and I thought, wow, this is quite easy. All right, let me get through some of this traffic. This is boring. Like the idea of becoming less connected with my bike, but as time went on, downshift right there, perfect. As time went on, it became more convenient, especially when I started shooting these vlogs. It's a lot less to manage, and it makes my life a ton easier. I really enjoy having one. It just, especially when, I went up to Hawk's Nest the other day. It was really fun in that area because I didn't have to think nearly as much. I could dedicate more of my focus to focusing on the road, what's around me. Like, it just was a really nice thing to have. So, yeah, essentially they just blipped the throttle, they blipped the clutch, so to speak, to allow the gear to switch, without you having to think about it. It's great. Again, to answer your question, there was I had a comment on one of my videos. Please explain how it works. It's just that simple. It doesn't work below 15 miles an hour, so you need to be kind of going. And really, if you're going that, below 50 miles an hour, you just use the clutch. It's not really a big deal because you're not doing anything highway speed. 1, 2, right there. That's it. That's it. And then same thing with down. You just, and that's it. And now I'm down. So you have to be going above 15 miles an hour. It works best when there's no intervention from you. So it's kind of like either use it or don't. If you're using it, just commit to the up and down motion with your foot. If you're going to do manual, then just do manual. Don't try to mix any of the process because it's meant to take over for you. So keep on on the throttle when you're switching up. You don't have to ease up the throttle for a second in order to let it kick in. You just hold on the throttle, up, and it does everything for you. The minute you try to let up the throttle, it kind of gets a little jerky. And the same thing goes for downshift. You know, obviously don't let up the throttle, you just right there, just down one, and that's it. So it's very, very easy. I found that it doesn't, when I was up at like 10,000 RPM, I had trouble. It got kind of stuck, and I couldn't get it to shift up. When I was in like 4th gear, all the way up to 10,000 RPM, to 11,000 RPM, it just didn't really want to do anything at that point, and that kind of makes sense to me because it's, you know, it's a lot. So just be wary. You might be pulling on the shifter and it's not going anywhere. If you're really maxing out the bike, you might have some difficulty with it. But for most of the rev range, it's fine. The only other thing that I've noticed is when you're going from second to first, if you don't commit to the push down, it will get stuck in neutral sometimes, which can be a problem because when you're going and you get stuck in neutral disengages where you're at, all the gears. So the bike will just roll at whatever speed you're at. So sometimes when I'm coming to a stop and I downshift to first gear, I'll get put in first, and I'm riding on the brakes, so I'm okay, but the bike will start to move faster when I expect it to start slowing up. So, you know, you shouldn't be that close to cars anyway, but if you end up, you know, like this distance, and you're going a lot slower, you're coming to a stoplight, you downshift to first, and you know, you get stuck in neutral, that car is gonna move pretty quick towards you, or you're gonna move pretty close towards it. So just be mindful when you're going from second to first. Make sure to fully commit. You are pushing down to first gear. You're not just gently. It's down. Very important. Man, I wish I could get around this guy. But yeah, I have now fully embraced the Quickshifter. I love it. I also ride a lot differently now that I have it. Kind of like sky's the limit. Whenever I want to make a quick maneuver, it's very possible, like right here. Quick shift. I don't have to think. I can hold on more with my hand. I don't have to worry about all this. Sometimes it's really nice though. I'll have a day where I don't even use it and I just do full-on manual, and those are great days. Mostly in the city. There's no need for a quick shifter in the city because I am not trying to beat any records there. Destination. I just want to get out and ride for a little bit. I got about an hour and a half left. So I gotta be responsible and go do some grown-up stuff. Got laundry to do. And downshift. That easy. Saw a cop. I'm holding my breath and hoping he doesn't pick up. I'm not doing anything. Find a place to pull over. God, I need a bathroom so bad. Alright guys, so that's really it for today's video. I just want to talk a little bit about the Quickshifter. Thank you for the question. Somebody threw it up there, and I hope I answered it. I know a lot of that was like basic information, but the Quickshifter, how it works, it just works as simple as that. The one that comes on Triumph, I feel I've only had one, so I'm not really a good judge of like is this this a good quick shifter? From everything I've read, from all the reviews that I've watched, it's very smooth, and I can testify to the fact that it is smooth. I've never had another one to compare it with, but I have had zero hiccups other than the slight ones that I mentioned, and that's really user error. So, you know, the one on the Triumph Street Triple 765RS is very smooth, very user-friendly, never really had a problem. All you do is click down to go down, click up to go up, so long as you're going faster than 15 miles an hour. That's all you really need to know. When you go bike shopping, make sure to ask, though, because not every bike comes with both up and down. A lot of them come, I've heard that bikes come often with quick shifters, but they don't come with auto blippers for the way down. So a question for the dealer when you are looking at bikes, make sure to ask if you care about having both, which I think if you're going to have one, you might as well have both. So I hope this answered your question. And yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna find a place to use the bathroom. This is a hotel, so baby, no, they won't let me in. I don't know, I gotta figure this out. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. This has been a bright sunny morning ride. Again, if you have not subscribed, make sure to do so below. Drop comments with more questions. I like these questions because they make me go read about stuff and try to figure shit out, or brush up on stuff I haven't thought of in a while. So I very much appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.